Hey everyone, buckle up because I'm about to drop a bombshell that could save you tens of thousands of dollars or stop you from making the biggest financial mistake of your life. Right now in Las Vegas, the housing market is quietly crumbling in certain pockets. Prices are sliding faster than most people realize, and a former top-producing real estate insider who just walked away from one of the biggest brokerages in town is blowing the whistle on what's really happening behind the curtain. So if you're thinking about buying, selling, or even moving to Southern Nevada in the next 12 months, you need to hear every word of this before you sign anything. Hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications because I'm posting weekly updates on exactly where prices are heading next, and drop a comment below with the neighborhood you're watching so I can tell you if it's about to tank or bounce. Let's dive straight into the chaos that nobody in the mainstream is talking about loud enough. Picture this. Just a couple of years ago, you couldn't buy a house in Summerlin or Henderson without getting into a 20-offer bidding war, waiving appraisals, and paying 50 grand over asking like it was pocket change. But fast forward to today, November 2025, and the latest numbers from Las Vegas realtors are showing single-family home prices have already slipped to a median of around $475,000. That's down over 2% from last year and almost 5% off the peak we saw back in the spring. And before you shrug that off as normal seasonal cooling, listen close. Inventory has exploded past 7,500 active listings, which is the highest we've seen since the pandemic frenzy died. And homes are now sitting on the market an average of 38 days compared to literally blinking and they were gone 2 years ago. This isn't some gentle correction, folks. This is the market gasping for air after the insane inflation bubble finally started to pop. And the scariest part is that certain zip codes in North Las Vegas and parts of the Southwest Valley are seeing price drops closer to 8 or 9% year over year, while the headlines keep screaming, "Everything is fine."
I sat down with a broker who just left a massive firm after their merger created a 550-agent mega team, and he told me straight up that the days of lazy listings and instant equity are dead. Sellers who slap a house online with blurry iPhone photos and price it 20 grand above the last comp are now watching it rot for months and then chopping the price week after week just to get a sniff of interest. Meanwhile, buyers finally have leverage again. You can ask for repairs, you can ask for closing costs, you can even ask the seller to buy down your interest rate 2 full points. And builders who were laughing at incentives 18 months ago are now throwing in free refrigerators, blinds, and even paying HOA dues for 2 years just to move inventory before the end of the quarter. But here's where it gets ugly. Interest rates are still hovering near 7%, which means even though list prices are coming down, your monthly payment on a $480,000 house is basically the same as paying $550 back when rates were in the threes. So a lot of move-up buyers are completely locked out. They can't sell their current house without taking a bath, or they owe more than it's worth after refinancing at the bottom. First-time buyers are getting absolutely crushed, too, because lenders have tightened the screws so hard, you now need a 720 credit score, full documentation going back 2 years, and sometimes even 12 months of reserves in the bank just to get approved. And forget about those sketchy 3% down programs that were everywhere in 2021. Most of those are gone or come with interest rates that make your eyes water. The insider I spoke with said he's seeing 20 to 30% of deals fall out of escrow right now because appraisals are coming in low, inspections are revealing issues sellers refuse to fix, or buyers simply can't qualify at the last second.
And that's creating a hidden wave of distressed listings that haven't hit the MLS yet, but are about to flood the market right after the holidays. Let's talk about the investor avalanche that's quietly changing the game. Big funds, REITs, and out-of-state corporations snapped up almost 1 out of every 4 houses sold in the Valley last quarter. And in some North Las Vegas tracts, they're buying entire streets, turning them into rental colonies overnight, which means regular families showing up with FHA loans don't stand a chance against all-cash offers that close in 7 days with no inspection. That same broker told me he lost 3 deals last month to a single hedge fund that swooped in with bulk offers $15,000 under asking just to lock up inventory before prices slide further. And now those houses are already back on the rental market at $1,900 a month, pricing out the very teachers, nurses, and casino workers who keep this city running. And if you think new construction is going to save the day, think again. Yes, builders are sitting on more spec homes than they've had in years, but the median new home closed at $520,000 last month, and that's after incentives, because land, labor,
And materials are still through the roof, plus many of those subdivisions are stuck with 6.8% mortgage rates baked into the price unless you use their in-house lender who marks up the rate and then buys it down with your equity. The affordable housing crisis is the silent killer nobody wants to talk about. Clark County is short almost 80,000 truly affordable units, meaning teachers making 60 grand a year can't even qualify for a two-bedroom condo anymore. And the waiting lists for subsidized apartments are now stretching 3 to 5 years in some cases. New senior projects, like the ones near Buffalo and Cactus, are opening with fanfare, but they fill up before the paint dries. And every time a developer tries to build workforce housing downtown, they get bogged down in zoning fights and permit delays that add 18 months and hundreds of thousands in carrying costs, which just gets passed right back to the buyer. Look, I'm not here to scare you away from Las Vegas.
Because compared to California, where the median home in LA is pushing 900 grand and San Diego is flirting with $1 million, 475 here still looks like the deal of the century. And that's exactly why cash-heavy buyers from the West Coast keep pouring in, even as locals get priced out. But the window of opportunity for regular buyers is wider right now than it's been in 4 years. You can negotiate, you can take your time, you can walk away from a bad deal without fear of missing out forever. And if you're a seller who's been waiting for the market to come roaring back, I've got bad news. The data says we're probably looking at another 6 to 12 months of softening before we find a floor, especially if the Fed doesn't cut rates aggressively next year. Here's exactly what you need to do right now if you're serious about winning in this market. Buyers, get fully underwritten pre-approval before you even start looking, not just a pre-qual letter because sellers are throwing those in the trash. Sit down with a lender who will run your credit, verify income, and lock a rate so you know your real payment at 7%. Then, target properties that have been sitting 30 days or longer. Those sellers are getting nervous, and that's where the real discounts hide. Sellers, stop listening to the agent who promises to list high and see what happens. Price it sharp from day one. Get professional photos, stage the main living areas, and be ready to respond to offers within 24 hours, or watch your house become the one everyone uses as a price comp after you chase the market down. Investors, if you're still buying single-family rentals, focus on the paths of growth near the Brightline station and the new UNLV Medical District because those areas are about to explode regardless of short-term dips. But stay away from overbuilt master plans in the far southwest where inventory is stacking up faster than they can sell it. And everyone, please, whatever you do, work with a local agent who actually closes 50 deals a year, not your cousin who got a license last month, because the difference between getting a screaming deal and overpaying by 30 grand comes down to someone who knows which pockets are crashing and which ones are quietly climbing. We're standing at a pivot point where the frenzy is over, but the long-term growth story of Las Vegas is still intact. Population keeps growing, jobs keep coming, and the entertainment capital of the world isn't going anywhere. But the rules have completely changed, and the people who adapt fastest are going to build generational wealth while everyone else is crying about what used to be. If you want me to do a deep dive on your specific neighborhood, drop the zip code in the comments and I'll pull the latest stats. If you're an agent or lender who wants to get in front of my audience, shoot me a DM. And if this video saved you from making a six-figure mistake, smash that like button and share it with one friend who's even thinking about real estate in Nevada. Because the more people who know the truth, the faster this market finds its real balance. Thanks for watching. Stay sharp out there, and I'll see you in the next update before the numbers shift again. Peace.